Welcome to free training sessions from TRISHOOL. Today we'll discuss about HTML5 structure. We have already discussed about HTML5 structure in the previous session. Today we are going to discuss about a little bit of responsive, which means media queries in CSS, how the media queries exactly works. And even before that, we need to format a little bit of our website, which looks really ugly. So let's try. Of course, we have done the structure, but let's try the completing the remaining structure, and then get into the responsive. So it will be easy for us to understand the responsive. Okay. First of all, I have the header. I think there is one new member joined today, I guess. What is that? Mohan, yeah. Okay, let me explain you. First of all, this is I've created already the folder structure and everything for the website. So I've just loaded script tag, loaded linked CSS. So using these two tags, I did that, and of course the meta tag for rendering a proper HTML. If you have any, uh, you know, characters which are recognized by the HTML, so it will help to render them, and the title it will show, of course, and the body. So inside the body, I have taken the wrapper content. Inside the wrapper content, I have taken the header. This is a header, and there is a main and the footer and the close of the header. So now, first of all, here advertise header is a class which is given to only this specific div inside the logo section. But there is a slight problem here. When I'm trying to refresh the page, the thread is applying for the whole background. It is because we have not provided proper width for every section, right? So we have a given logo section, width is equal to, hold on, not only height, we need to give a margin auto so that it will align to the center, right? Margin auto is already done for the wrapper content. Go here, ID, wrapper content, check for open and close. If we have missed anywhere, footer open close. Brilliant. I think somewhere I've just missed. Advertise HR. Let's be dragged on this. It's just not required here. This. Now, when I click here, when I select this, all I can see is a width of 700 pixels, 90 pixels. Okay, but there is no margin which I have given, but still it is taking margin. This is the logo section. Since we don't have image, it is going under it because of the float left. Okay. This is a 700 pixels only, not more than that. Because we have given low float left to the image, since there is no image at all, that's the reason it is moving down. So maybe I can say for the image, width is 150 pixels. Height is 50 pixels. Remember, this is a whatever I'm working right now. This is called inspect element, like developer tool. So basically, you can use this in section for to inspecting the HTML on live. Basically, once you loaded the website, you can really check here in a real-time basis, like how the website has been loaded, how the each section, how the CSS applied to the each section, how the JavaScript has been loaded. You can check the errors if there is any JavaScript errors. So you can check everything through this inspector element. You find in every browser. If you press on F12 or right click inspect element. Depends on the browser. For IE, if you right click, this has to be closed. Interesting. This is an image, that's the reason. Any website open, right click. Somehow my right click is not working in IE, it's supposed to work. But anyway, here you can find inside there F12 developer tools. So you find this developer tool in every browser, even in Mozilla, IE, even in Chrome. There are there are even add-ons also for the browser. Let's take a Firebug. You can install add-on for the Chrome browser, Mozilla browser. Depends on the browser you can use. So here I'm using this developer tool to inspect element, like what's happening here, because I have given red background width and height only for advertise SDR, where it is going to the left. It is going beyond the image, under the image. Hello. Someone trying to tell me something. Okay. Okay. No problem. So now that is because since we don't have any image that is moving under. So now what I can do is I can say, since this is an advertisement, I'll say you go align right side of the page. So now what happens? Advertisement moved to the right side of the page. So that's the so we have discussed, right, when to use float left and float right, and also when to use position absolute, relative, you know, uh, fixed, static. These are all things we don't need to use. We might think, hey, this is aligning to the right side of the page, so I need to give a position absolute right 0. No, you should not use unnecessarily. You can use as much as you can using float left and float right. If you really think that it is not working out, it is not helping your purpose, then only go to position absolute. Which means if you want to overlap something on top of it, or if you want to control a specific section based on other section, then go for the CSS positions. Since I've taken float right here, the advertisement is moved to the right. So I'll just write a little bit CSS, not to look ugly. We will remove it. We will replace it with our Google advertisements in upcoming sessions. So now I'll say color FF and text line center. So vertical line middle you cannot give for the div. So all I can do is padding top is equal to 30 pixels or 20 pixels. I need to use a box model here, which is I'm going to decrease 730 670 pixels. Oh, sorry, my bad. I supposed to decrease in height. My bad. That's a 60 pixels. Since I'm talking about the height here, top here, we need to discuss. If you're talking about padding top and bottom, you need to discuss about the height. If you're talking about padding left and right, then you discuss about the width. Since I'm talking about the padding top, I change the height only. So now refresh the page. Now see, properly aligned to the center. And now maybe I just want to make it a little more beautiful. Now I'm wasting my time here for the replacement. But here, just save it and refresh the page, blah, blah, blah. So now we've got a properly aligned advertisement to the right side of the website. Of course, the left side, the logo will come automatically. So now, this is a menu structure. I want to make my menu a little beautiful. So now let's go to here. This is a nav, right? Can I use nav directly, in CSS? Yes, you can, but there is a slight chance of using navigation tag in other sections also, like footer and everything, right? So whatever you write here, it will apply everywhere. So maybe for that, I'll say ID is equal to main nav, right? So Now what I can do is, first of all, for every navigation, whatever, like inside navigation, not only here in header, even in the footer, I want everything aligned to the left. So what I can do is, here is the two things I can do. Nav, UL, li, open and close. I'll say float left, which means I'm saying, hey, if you find li tags inside UL, inside navigation tag, do this, float left. Now I'm just giving a width 150 pixels, and I'll just need a little height, height of 30 pixels, and I needed some background, not required. I'm not talking about the background here. I'll say go for, what is the ID here? Anyway, this will apply for every nav, for every li tag, inside every ul tag, inside every nav tag. This means how many nav tags we have here? In footer there is one nav tag. There might be a chance of header also. In main tag also there might come. For all those things this will apply. If you don't want for all those things to be applied, use ID here. Go here. Instead of nav, you say ID. Main nav, hash main nav, which is ID. This is a navigation ID. Inside that you are saying you're presenting now with ID, which means this will point only to this nav section. It won't point to this nav section. So there is a tricky part here. Like we try to minimize the code as much as we can, right? So my core purpose is simple. All the menus listed inside UI tag to align left. Whatever the remaining changes, you can do whatever you want. So now what I can do is, I want all the UI menus, like this to be there for all UI menus. So now what I can do is, I'll do this. Nav space ULLI. So I don't need to write again for every navigation this code, every nav tag for this code. But I want to be a little change, right? Let's say I'll say this main nav open close. From now onwards, I'm not going to use nav tag. This nav tag is universal. It will apply for every nav tag, for every li tag, inside every ul tag, inside every nav tag. So now what I'm going to do is, I'll say I just need a background color. I'll just go for red since it is a temple site. FF0000, yes, background color. I took a background color, but I didn't take a height, right? Height, I'll say this is supposed to be on the top because this is a main, right? Inside that there is nav. So now height is like 30 pixels. So I'm following the same height in the children for the children's also. Here, refresh the page. Now you can see you've got beautiful red menu, and also you've got every menu is aligned to left, but there is a dot and also aligned to the top. Now what I can do for that, here for this, a list style is equal to none. When I say list style is equal to none, check what happens. See, all the dots gone. Now they are acting as a menus. So here I want all the content, font style should be one, so I don't need to give for everyone, so to avoid duplicates. All I'm doing is I'll say font family is Arial, okay, and font size is 13 pixels. So my entire site font size is 13 pixels. My entire site font family is Arial. If I want something different sizes or font type or anything, all you need to do is go to that specific section and try to do the changes to that specific section. So let's say if I want something else, let's say if I want a different font style, a font size for the footer section, I'll go to the footer and write a different font, so it will overwrite. So this will help me to decrease the duplication of writing font family, font size for every section. So it will apply for body, not only body, all the elements inside the body. So you don't need to write font family, font size for every section. So that you need to do one thing, refresh. So beautifully font applied. And now I'm talking about what? I'm going to talk about this section. This is what? This is the main nav. So now I have written something, right, using what ID main nav. So now I have a height, of course, that's good, but I want some padding top 10 pixels. Now what is the height of my website now? My height of navigation is 40 pixels. But since I have given padding top 10 pixels, I have only left height is 30 pixels. So whatever the child inside main nav can take only 30 pixels, not more than that. So that's why I have taken 30 pixels here. Done? Done. Anyway, refresh the page and check. This is beautifully came, but it's come too much down. So now I can go here. And also one more thing you need to remember, we need to make sure every element has zero padding and zero margin. So when I say body, it will apply these two style shades, these two font Arial, font size for every element inside the body. But there are few things which won't apply for all the elements. Only font family and font size will apply for all the elements inside the body. If we give padding inside the body, it will apply for only body, not for all the elements inside the body. Okay? So for that, we have a universal tag called star. We discussed in midsection CSS selectors, I guess. So now what I can do is using star, I can say, hey, for any element in the document, if you find any padding, just make it 0. I don't want any padding to be. So padding margin, what is padding margin? By default, every element has its own padding and margin, a little bit of it at least. If you take H1 tag, there is a default padding margin. If you take body tag, there is a default LI tag, there is a default padding margin. So because of that reason, I've just given 10 pixels, but if this text is coming around 30 pixels, 20 pixels, 25 pixels, it took on the top. So when I refresh the page, as you can see, I have removed the padding for every element UL, LI, and it has taken only padding top 10 pixels, not more than that. So this is pretty good. So now I have a properly padding top 10 pixels. Now what I need to do is I want all of them aligned to the center and color white. So what I can do here for this, I can say text align, center, good color, save. Beautiful. Now I've got some, one second, I'll just remove this inspect element. Right now I don't need it. So now I've got some beautiful menu. Everything is fine. So cool. But if I want to mouse over this menu, I want to change color. If on mouse over, I want to change color. I need a drop down menu. All those things can be done using JavaScript. So first of all, before you getting into drop down section, you need to know JavaScript, how JavaScript works, what is JavaScript, what are the topics element, what are the basic concepts that you need to learn for the JavaScript. We are going to start it from tomorrow's session. Of course, today I'll give you a brief idea. Today, I may not, because we have a serious CSS media queries section. So let's uh, let's play with the menu a little bit here. Here there is a slight problem. I wanted to give a link to this home tag, right? I need to give a link, of course. I was just trying to explain the how well and I UL and LI works. So now I'll just say I'll just copy, I'll just paste, blah 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 blah. Oops, sorry. You need to be very careful. Yeah. I'll just copy this, paste here, copy this, paste here, copy this, paste here, paste here. Done. Refresh. As you can see now, since I've given a link tag, By default, link tag has its own CSS, which is like underline, and also change it to blue color, which means it refers the link. So now what I need to do is, and also there is a slight problem on mouse over. If you see here, if I write some mouse over option also, let me show you what I mean. Here in the CSS, oops, come on. If I find LA inside that, these are group selectors. I think we discussed about this group selector. Yeah, now color is equal to white. So what I can do is I'll say a hover. I'll talk about them a little bit. Refresh, and as you can see on mouse over I'm getting a color change. That's beautiful. But there is a slight problem. Not only color change, I want background also to be changed. So which means what happened? What we need to do? We need to write first of all, instead of here hover, forget about it. First we need to write for A. So for all this weight, height, I'm going to give it to A, not for LI. Because if you give some background to it, it will apply to that only. So here I don't need this. For ULLI, I am asking them to sit next to it, align left to each other, and I am asking them remove the style sheet, and I'm asking them text align center. And the remaining everything can be handled by A. Now you can see, I'll just copy the whole thing and paste it. There is a difference between hover and A. So we call this as a pseudo classes. There are four or I don't remember exactly, but there are few pseudo classes. One is hover, one is visited, one is focus also came in the recent. Active. So if you want to know more about these four pseudo classes, try to Google and pseudo classes, know about them. Try to give take some links in your document, and try to give hover, visited, active, focus, and see what happens when you mouse over, when you click in a when you click, after clicking color will change, which means if you want to say someone people, hey, you have already visited this link, so then we can simply change that color by providing a visited color, so on so. On mouse over, I want a different color. On mouse out, I want a different color. On mouse out is nothing but a normal like A, if you say something like that. Anyway, that is JavaScript. We will talk, but this hover, visited, active, focus, or the uh, focus. I'm not sure. This is the latest thing, I guess. It's mostly used in JavaScript, but there is a focus in HTML5 also, I guess. So you can search actually. Let me pseudo classes in CSS. Let's try CSS3 since we know already what is visitors and blah blah blah. Oh, my bad. That's sudo is going somewhere else. Sudo CSS. Wonderful. W3 School itself providing a huge number of content pages. Yeah, as you can see, however, see first child, these are all pseudo classes. Why we are calling the pseudo classes? Pseudo classes can be applied actually in CSS3. Pseudo classes can be applied for the elements also, but in CSS2, which was before, you were able to apply to only a tag, but now it's become more advanced. You can apply now to any tag actually. So but anyway, there are like this you find not only four, I think more in that case. So let's see here, wide range of pseudo classes. So you try all of these things. Basically on practice you will get, yes, focus also there, but is that for input? They're specifically saying input, not for the A. Okay. This is not for the A, not for the link tag. That is for a input tag because it is having a focus status also, which means on click well, when you're typing it, whether it is a focus or not, something like that. First child, first of type. So if you see here, pseudo classes are we have a various number of pseudo classes, but pseudo classes for um anchor tag are different. Let's see, anchor tag active, anchor tag hover, anchor tag link is there, which means for visited. You can go through it. See, visited. So search for pseudo classes for anchor tag, pseudo classes for elements, something like that. You will find hundreds of pseudo classes, not hundreds, maybe some at least 30, 40, I guess. I'm not sure. So here I'm just refreshing the page. As you can see, it is not applying anything. Of course, it is applying li basically because that we have given you know to the li, but width is not applying. Can anyone wonder why width is not applying? Anyone? I'm just waiting for the answer. Wait for answer. Sriram, why don't we use positions? We we don't use. Okay, it's a long back question. Basically, we, tell me why we need positions. So first of all, can you switch on your microphone and ask me like why we need and tell me like why we need positions first of all. So you are there in CSS position classes sessions, Sriram? Okay, tell me why we use positions, CSS positions. No problem, even if you don't know also fine. I just wanted to know how what you understand from my session. So it's easy for me to tell you the difference. Switch on your microphone. Let me allow you to talk. Now you can switch on your microphone and talk. Oh, Sriram. Okay, I'm assuming that you understand. Okay. Um, hold on. Hmm, why don't you try now? Yes, I understand you asked for advertise. So why we use positions basically if we want to align something to the right or to the left? No. We don't use positions something to align to the right or something to align to the left or top or whatever. We use CSS positions to place it wherever we want in the document. You cannot do that using float left or right. But using positions, you can place wherever we want, no matter what. We can even come out of the website context and we can say saying that completely display outside the website. Though you give that div inside the main div, but still you can show it outside the div. So purpose of the positions are to control the places. And also, you might wonder, like, of course, I can you can place div wherever you want using CSS position. So why can't I use positions? That's a good point. But when it comes to responsive design, when it comes to different resolutions, tell me when you say position absolute right is equal to 10 pixels and your website is perfectly fit in 1000 pixels and you will see exactly in the website that there. But if you have a 1600 wide resolution, you will see in the right corner of the page. That is one issue. You can control it again using position relative to its parent, but still, if you are using for mobiles, that has to come down, right? If you give position absolute, it will never come down. It will simply overlap the content and display it on top of the content, which will annoying for the mobile users. So don't use position absolute or CSS positions for a normal purpose, like aligning left side by side, for multiple elements. Use it for a stick. Let's say if I want to use a cross button for a specific tab, or if I want to overlap contact form to the description section, on top of the description section, right side I want to display contact form, or maybe something else which we do unnatural, which means basically unnatural, out of context, out of the structure, so which is we think it is not possible, then you can do it that using CSS positions. I'll give you more of the live examples. I'll come to that. I think you just watch the tutorial for the CSS positions again. I explained pretty well over there. If you still don't understand, please ping me. I'll explain you. Okay, first of all, so why width and height has not applied, though I have given, I don't need to give here for hover anyway. So why the width and height has not applied for the A tag? See here, it has not applied. Why? Because A tag is what? Inline element. Remember I told you width, height will apply for only block level element. It will never apply for inline level element. So what I need to do? I need to convert this to display block. You can convert block level element to inline level element using inline level element to block level element using block. So actually there is one more option also. We have there is an inline block, something like that. Just go through it. You will find, check for display attributes in CSS. You will find 4 or 5 values, attribute values for display. When I say display block and refresh, see how beautifully that it has been applied, the width and everything. We have a home, about a search, everything is there. Now when I see here, so now what I can do, hover, right? I just wanted to change something on hover. Here I can say inside text decoration, which means underline. I'll say none, and I'll give a nothing. I'll just give background color this to first color. What is the yellow color code? I forgot. Oh dear, I think it's 00FF. Forgetting everything. Refresh. Oh. See here on mouse over I'm getting, it's not yellow, I know, I'll change it, just give me some time. But on mouse over I'm able to get some background color for the every menu section. But unfortunately, since we have a given padding to the li tag, so it is not full part of the main structure, I mean main menu, the navigation bar, like it's taking, because let me tell you what I mean. This main nav tag itself has a padding, right? So which means inside elements will have that padding. You cannot control it. So what I can do is, now what I can do is I can simply remove that padding for the main nav. This is the main nav, right? I'll say, hey, I don't want a padding here, top. I'll give my padding myself. So I'll just give it to a tag. Which means if I give it to a tag, remember it will apply for every element individually. Previously it was for a main tag, but now you can see, beautiful. But also you need to remember one thing, you have given height 30 pixels, padding top 10 pixels, but main nav tag is 30 pixels, so we need to give a 40 pixels. So now this is a 40 pixels. Now I can use a height 30 pixels. This is a children, right? A is a children of main tag, or I need to give height to this one also. HEIT height. This is a proper way. Nothing happens if we don't give, but we need to give. So height 30 pixels, not 30, 40 pixels. Since its parent has a 40 pixels, I have not given any padding here, so I can directly use height 40 pixels here inside. Here also I have not provided in padding margin, so I can directly use 40 pixels. But instead I divided it to, hey, I want only height 30 pixels, but I want padding top 10 pixels, so that I'll get some padding in the top. The menu will align to the center vertically in the sense like top to bottom. As you can see now, hold on. That thing is because of the inspector tool. Let me remove it, which is not required right now. On mouse over, as you can see, beautifully changing. See, this is happening because I I have given all the controls to the A tag, width, height, padding, everything. And here I've just provided a normal height for this guy, and here for this guy normal provided height. But of course, aligning float left is I've given. I told this guy saying that hey, just align float left, don't do anything else. So that's what we did here, and now it's working wonderful. And so I just wanted to yellow color, right? Since it is the temple side, I used a combination of red and yellow. It's pretty symbolic. Yellow code. This is yeah, 4F00. I forgot. So here on mouse over yellow, and all I'm saying is, dude, I want to display as a black. On the yellow, I can see black is pretty much. FF00. I'm just deleting because I don't want something in a capital letter or something in small letter. I make everything small letter. So now go here, go to Kantalu, and refresh the page. Check here. See, I've got beautiful yellow background with the black text on top of it when I mouse over. Now I can give links to these pages. Now, before I entering into this, let's talk about since I just wanted to show you the menu and header section I showed you. So now I wanted to show you. Thanks, Sriram, for the color code. So I wanted to show you tell you about the media queries. Media queries are the most beautiful thing for the device compatibility. If you open in any device, if you take any website, if you open in mobile, you will get to know whether it is responsive or not. What do you mean by responsive? Which means it should be compatible for any device. It will fit the content, content will fit the resolution, device resolution, no matter what device it is. So if I design a website, let's say if you go to my website, which is called paramesh.me, if you open this, if you go to any resolution, here, as you can see, what happens, it is not, let me compare you with other example, any old website which is not responsive, um, any website with me not responsive, no, I don't think so. So if you see here, this is our the Great Indian Army website. So we have, this is not responsive. Of course, this is a beautiful website which has a beautiful content, but this is not responsive site. Why it is not responsive? If you see here, when I decrease the resolution, as you can see, you are getting a horizontal scroller. Even in mobiles also, if you open this website, you need to zoom in using your fingers to see the content, to read the content, to see the images, anything. But as you can see here, it's horizontally taking. This is not responsive, though we have a beautiful content here and designed properly, but this is not a responsive design. Responsive means here, if you can see, any device, like if you, no matter what device you open, the content adjusts. You will never see the horizontal scroller. So because content will come down automatically and adjust to the specific resolution and display it. No matter what resolution it is, it will keep on check everything is properly adjusted, right? Yeah, of course there is a bug here. I was just recently added in hurry. So see here. So that is the difference between a responsive and a normal site. So this is not responsive. If you want to make it responsive, you use the CSS media queries. What exactly we do, CSS media queries? Of course, if you take APS RTC line, If you take any central government websites, let's see, central government website, uh, indiangovernment.org. Just check here. See, this is a purely responsive website. So it has a great funding, I guess. So as you can see, for every resolution, they even controlling the fonts also. This is far better than before even my website. The way they're controlling the content is really beautiful. But Indian Army site, that's not a, this is not responsive. So all I'm saying is when you're designing something nowadays, responsive designing is very important. How can we achieve that? That's quite simple. So we call them as a media query. There are multiple ways in developing a responsive website. No one uses media queries to develop a responsive website. Why? Because it's going to be a hell lot of CSS that you need to write for different resolutions. But for the starting, we learn CSS media queries, because if you understand CSS media queries, it is easy for you to understand, override any other frameworks which you are going to use. So mostly like Bootstrap, Foundation. These two are the frameworks we use for the responsive website to get a responsiveness for our website. I'm going to use Bootstrap for gudikantalu.com, but before that, you need to know what is media query. Let's get into that first of all. I've been dragging it like 15 minutes. So media queries in CSS. See? Beautiful. So we are writing a rule for various resolutions. Hey, if you find a screen of minimum width of 480 pixels, give background color to something else. So similar to that, we have uh, various options. Like we have a link tag. Remember, we have given a href and everything, but we never talk about the media tag. So media tag is one of the like basically, let's say I have to write a different CSS for different devices. Let's say if it is for a printer, I want this CSS to be applied. If it is a mobile, I want this CSS to be applied. Or if I want a mobile screen, means everything will comes. Computer screens, tablets, smartphones, everything comes. Projection. If you are using projected presentations, using projector, then you have a projection, but it is depreciated. So mostly you see all, print, screen. Remaining all are depreciated. See what was that? There was a Braille printers, there was a handheld printers. It was all these were working fine actually. So, but now with the latest versions, these things are depreciated because which are not required. Because we have various ways of detecting devices and writing different devices, different CSS. So we don't need to worry about pointing CSS for different devices. So all I can say, mostly you use always media, a screen. Mostly you use screen. So you don't use even TV. If someone opened your website in TV using internet, still you can apply a different CSS. Which means telling that, hey, if someone opens in mobile, apply this style.css, style mobile.css. If someone opening in a in a like if someone trying to print the website, hey, go apply this print.css. Simple. That's what we are trying to do here. When I say media is equal to media type and not only media feature, so that you can apply, but mostly we use the screen only because we don't need to worry about that. Because we use only for computers, tablets, smartphones, etc. Right? So we use mostly screen. 95% we use only screen or all, which means for all media types generally. So when you come down here, this is a one more important feature, media features. So this is media type, which is like whether all or something like that. And the next one is a media feature. What is media feature? So here it is detecting, so which means these media features will help you uh, to detect the device width, to detect the device aspect ratio. Mostly when you're using JavaScript, you will understand why we use these media features. But let's say when you're writing a condition, a rule, a media rule, you need to say max, if you want to say minimum height is 300 pixels, maximum height is 400 pixels. 450 pixels example, minimum height is 320, maximum 450. So which means whatever the CSS you are going to write, it will apply only for the resolutions between 320 and 450. Remaining it won't apply. So I'm just giving you on a thing, but I'll show you in a moment. So like that you have a multiple number of media features. Two purpose, we can use these features to detect the resolution using JavaScript, or that's the second part. Let's talk about this in the upcoming sessions. But here we use to control the CSS for the different resolution. Here is an example how they use a media feature. Add media only screen, which means I'm saying that for only screen devices. Screen means here it will apply for mobile, it will apply for tablets, system, everything. And saying that maximum width of 500 pixels, which means whatever the CSS you write over here, this CSS will apply until 500 pixels width of the device. Let's say I have a mobile of 500 pixels. They will say, right, when you buy a mobile, it's a 500 dpi, it's a blah blah blah, something like that. So which means that it has a maximum width of 500 pixels. If your website is more than 500 pixels, it will shrink it and show it to you if it is not responsive, like the website which I showed you. So I'm controlling it using maximum width 500 pixels. Like that, I can use minimum width, which means let's say if I use minimum, if I say minimum width, it will start from 500 minimum width. From minimum width 500, it won't apply for below 500. It will apply for above 500. Let me show you an example, and then it's easy for you to understand. Here, I'll just use our website only to show that. All I'm going to do is simple. I cannot do anything with the content, so I'll take an example of a div, right? I'll give a inline style sheet. This is just to show an example. This is nothing related to website. So that's the reason I'm taking inline style sheet, of course. 500 pixels, height is equal to 200 pixels, right? Quite simple. I have width 500 pixels, height 200 pixels. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to copy this, whatever the media query rule. This is how media query rule you need to supposed to write. Let me explain you. In style.css, I'll come here and I'll copy paste here. So when I say at, which means you're writing media rule, CSS media query. We call it as a media query. But we can also call it as a media rule. We are writing a rule for the specific device. It's very straightforward. So I'm saying media only screen, which means this CSS will apply for only screen. Okay. Now and this is important. So and maximum width 500 pixels. Okay. Instead of grid right and everything, I'll say background is FF00 and I've given background yellow, right? And just refresh the page or website. You see anything here? You have not seen any change, right? Because let's try. Hold on. BACKGROUND background. Right. So now, wait a second. It is closed. properly. Yes. Is someone saying something to me? Save it. Refresh it. Hold on, hold on. Okay, that's it all. Because you're supposed to open directly in the devices here, not in the browser. Yeah, it's supposed to work for browser. Just give me 1 second. It will work actually. Background also work. You can give background also. It doesn't make any difference. When I say maximum 500 pixels width, if I scroll down my browser to my 500 pixels, and the background should come automatically. Since refresh the page, it's not coming. See, our website is not responsive because we have not yet applied anyway, and someone is saying something. Uh, I did not use class. No, there is no class, right? We don't need to use a class because I have used inline style sheet, right, to give a width and height for that specific div. Width 100 pixels, height 200 pixels, and here, oh shit. Thank you so much. Now what I can say is, thank you, Srinivas. I was dumb. You can say box. I was trying to explain you again. Boxes. Dot, boxes, open, close. Here also I'm going to take dot, boxes, open, close. You'll see the difference, I'll tell you here. I don't need this. Yeah. See here, this CSS is applied for any devices, no matter where. It's general regular CSS. But here you can see boxes, right? Here, go here, class boxes, class. Now I have given boxes saying that background for the specific 500 resolution. Thank you, Srinivas, again. Otherwise, I break my hand. See here, only under 500 resolutions, it is changing to yellow. See, if I cross to 500, how do I know whether it is crossing 500 or not? See, I'm crossing 500. How do I know what is my resolution right now? That's a big question, right? So we have lots of plugins you can install actually to test that resolution. Go here, settings, extensions, we call it as extensions. Come here, get more, screen size, something. I'm guessing not that. Resolution, yeah, this one. Try this, enter Chrome, add extension, resolution test, something, I don't know. So I've just installed it. As you can see now, I'll just close this, I'll just close this, and we'll go to my Goody Controller website and check here. See, you have a different resolutions, right? You have what, 800 by 600, 120, we don't have less than 300. Let me check this, and view all selected. So you can able to open the website in specific, but we have other extensions to detect, not resolution test. I know this is a little, someone is speaking something. Yeah, I can use developer tools also. But I just thought of showing in a dragging. When you drag, you can see the changes. But anyway. So this is the browser. So you have in developer tool also you can test a mobile, by entering here simply value in 500 resolution. This is a 500 responsive resolution. Let me refresh the page. Okay. Now I'll say why not 5. So when I say 501, let's say 499. So when I say 49, 1 second. Okay, so this will work only if you give a viewport in a here meta tag we need to give. We will discuss about that meta tag after a while. So I'll explain you tomorrow. I'll give you the extension name. You can install that. On decreasing the while you're decreasing this Chrome browser, you will see the sizes, what exactly the width and everything at the top. So now we can see at the 500 it is yellow. Let's say now what I'm going to do is maximum width is 500, right? And I say I'm going to write one more CSS called maximum width is 600. Okay, and minimum width is, what is the minimum width? I'll say 750 pixels. That is one. And I'm going to add one more resolution. Minimum width of 500. Background color should be red. And I'll say FF, FF, different color, pink or something. Now you can see here, when I say maximum width of, 1 second, yes, Srinivas, actually that is not what I wanted to show. That will work only for the, if I give meta viewport. So I just wanted to show them the screen size when you are dragging the browser. Tomorrow I'll give the extension name so that they can test. This F12 developer tool work only if you have a viewport. Yeah, it will show the width. Oh, now I understand what you're trying to say. It's a lot of messy, but yeah, all right. So as you can see, when I drag here the top right side, thanks for the help, Siddham. So Srinivas, sorry. When I drag the browser at the top right side, you see the screen resolution. Actually, that is coming because of this, I guess. I'm not sure, but anyway, it is displaying. If it is not coming with the developer tools, then install. If it is coming because of the developer tools, that's beautiful. So then see here, the minute, okay, thanks. So the minute you come down, you see the yellow, which means 502, 501, less than 500 up to 500, 500 only. If you see less than, it is yellow. Here, one more thing you can see, if it is crosses 750, see what happens. Nothing happens. What is the maximum width of 600 pixels? Oh, I need to write reverse. So you can say minimum width of 600 pixels. Max width of 750 pixels. So these conditions are tricky. I mean, you need to understand it properly. Which I'm saying is minimum width of 600 pixels, which means it has to start from 600 pixels. And maximum width of 750 means it will end until 750 pixels. So the color would be something else. That's what I wanted between these resolutions. Once again, I think I'm writing condition it wrong. Media only all and minimum width 600 pixels, maximum width 750 pixels. Width and max combination. You can use media queries. You can find easily. You don't need to worry about. Okay. Okay, so we need to write and outside it. See here, minimum device width 480 and this is and okay, now I understand. So we need to consider that also as a separate condition, right? So that's the reason. And yeah, it's a small. It's good to write small only. I'm not sure whether it works for a big or not. But right now, I'm just going to do this. Try this, right? What I did is first condition. In the media rule, first condition is media only all, which means it will apply all, and minimum width of 600 pixels and maximum width of 750 pixels, which means minimum 600 to 750. If you find anything, do these changes for this specific CSS. So I click here and refresh here and try here. See now, between 600 to 750, right? Mine 596, 596, ah, 601, 601, 600, up to 750, that color will be there. 46. See, after 754, it is red, no matter what, how many. That is because I have given, where is that? Minimum width of 500 pixels, which means, hey, if width starts from 500 pixels, no matter how much bigger it is width, display always red color. That's what we are trying to say here. So the combination of media queries is really important. Understanding these media queries is really important because when you're using Bootstrap or any other foundation, you need to override them. You need to tell them, like let's say, usually that is good. If you something you want to change, you need to understand the condition. Okay, between this resolution, here it is not displaying properly. Give slight padding, give slight margin, something like that. So you will understand in upcoming sessions. So these are the media queries. So if you understand these media queries, then it is pretty good. You can use many things here, not only width. I just showed you only one thing, which is what max width or minimum width and a combination, but you can use for height also. You can use for resolution for a specific devices. You can use for color, which means there might be a small, what is that, devices with uh, let's say if you take LCD colors, a small devices with the less colors, right? 6-bit color, 3-bit colors, 8-bit color devices will be there. Like if you take any of your let's say I have a Canon 650D camera. If you check that camera, you have a LCD, right? But with less colors. If you want to target those type of less color LCDs, then you can use minimum color. So by providing bits to it, something like that. You have a various number of features. You can use them. It's your own creativity and it's basically client requirement. Orientation, because if you there are a landscape oriented, if you take any devices like mobiles, iPads or something like that, there are orientation. If you are designing hybrid mobile application, you might need to depend on orientation also. There is a monochromic colors, which means if you have a single color devices are there. If you are using single color devices, you can use monochrome. So these are all conditions. So hey, if I find a scanner device, do this. If I find so and so, do this. So if you can use this as you can use these media features. There is no limitations, and these all are work in all browsers. There is no browser compatibility issues with these media queries. If there is any, they'll show you immediately. They'll say here depreciated already. or they'll show you, hey, these will work in this specific version only. So you don't need to worry about even this, browser compatibility issues when it comes to this. Okay, grid. Sometimes what happens, some devices will have a, let's say, image processing devices will be there. Mostly like these guys will know, mechanical guys will know mechanical design. So when you have an image processing, they have a grid system for a bitmaps or everything. So they have a grid system, like, all the images will be displayed in a 12 grid system or 18 grid system, 24 grid system, something like that. If you're displaying something on that, you can control that device also, write different CSS, something like that. So you can even display in mobile a complete website, in laptop a complete different website, in iPad a complete different website, in big monitors a complete different website with these CSS media queries, media rules, whatever you want. So this is a purely responsive and device compatibility. You can achieve using device compatibility. You can achieve these media CSS rules. Anyone has any questions? First of all, I think you need to practice this a little bit. I'm going to send the this file right now, because I know I'm not uploading the session files to the site for last 3 sessions. Got quite busy actually, trust me. That is here, not here. So I shared it in a Skype. So now using 1 second, what's happening here? Yeah, I shared it in a Skype. Practice these CSS media queries, come up with questions, because you will have a lot of questions. You might get confused also, that you minimum width, maximum width. Even now I'll get confused. Basically, based on practice, depends on my requirement, I make sure what I'm doing. So the benefit of this HTML and CSS, unlike the Java, other languages, like you can see the result instantly here. That's the beauty of it. So you can test it and check it whether it is working or not. I think this is one of the website also. So I'm giving you nice examples. Let me give you one more website. One more website. I find that pretty interesting. Yeah. So the most important website, like the legend website, legendary is for HTML and JavaScript. You won't find anything better than this website, developer.mozilla.org. So you will learn, you can become a master in weeks of time if you follow this website, practice literally. Yeah, I think that's it for today's session. So tomorrow I'm going to, work with the Bootstrap directly. I know it's a pretty fast I'm doing, but tomorrow I'm not sure, because you will be having a lot of questions, right? On media queries, since tomorrow is a weekend, right? Yeah, forgot. So tomorrow is weekend, so I'll take half an hour of your time for questions, especially because you have 2 days to practice. So please keep on practice and ask me in a Skype or a WhatsApp if you have any questions while you're practicing, so that please utilize these 2 days to understand the media queries much better. So we can come up with from Monday I'm going to use Bootstrap and to build a website.